Okay guys, let us start with the revision of standard costing. Let me give you the brief idea and then we'll start with this. First of all, what happens over here, if you see this, just pay attention. On very first day, now you make some target that you're gonna earn this much profit, right? You are very happy that I'm going to achieve this. I will achieve this many marks and all again. Then, as the day passes by, then you just hit the reality and then you come to know that yeah, actually on the last day you get actual profit. Is it necessary that whatever profit you have thought of, you actually earn that profit? No, there is a difference, right? Expectations always hurts, as we say. So यहाँ पे, so you thought of this profit and you have actually earned this profit, right? So can I say there is a difference? But institute never uses this word. It will use what? Variance. And this variance is in what? Profit. So that is known as net profit variance. So this net profit variance can arise because of what? How do we get profit? It is sales minus cost. So this profit can change either because of change in sales or either because of change in cost. That is why this net profit variance is broadly divided into two parts. Maybe you won't be able to see, that is manageable. एक तो cost variance and एक तो sales variance. What is there in your syllabus? So you have the cost variances in your syllabus. Still there was one question of budgetary control जिसमें sales variance था. But as of now, in standard costing, if you see this chapter, you have four variances in your syllabus. Either the difference can be because of change in material cost, or it can be because of change in labor cost, or it can be because of change in variable overhead, or it can be because of change in fixed overheads. So if I just talk about this, your all variances, I can divide into actually two categories. कौन से? One which is connected with variable cost and one which is connected with the fixed cost. So fixed cost में एक है आपका fixed overheads, that to fixed factory we are specifying, factory का fixed overheads. And then अगर मैं variable cost में बात करूँ तो you have three parts. कौन सा? Material, then labor, and then variable overhead. These variances you have variable overhead. अच्छा, sir, why did you bifurcated this? Because ये तीनों का treatment almost same रहेगा. So how we solve the question? So generally we do like this. We make a table like this. We have which standard bolo? Normal standard. Then we have bolo what? Comparable standard. Then we have actual. Do you remember this? Yes sir. Then इसके बाद you leave one line. What to write? What? Output. What is actual output? That is there. Then you have a type. Then you have a type के बाद either QPC, that is quantity price cost, right? It can be type, then it can be instead of this HRC बोले तो hours rate cost. If it is material, you will make this. If it is material, but if it is labor, you gonna go for this. अगर आपका ये labor and overhead है तो yeah, you gonna make this. Variable overhead है तो clear है ये वाला part. Now let's go with the variances की names and all करके. Let's try to remember this. So first of all, if I just talk about this, इसको नीचे ले लेते हैं यहाँ पे. Let's try to remember the names and all करके. First of all, if I talk about material variances, तो पहला कौन सा होता है? Cost. Cost के कितने parts है? दो. There is a material cost variance के बाद price variance and usage variance. Usage has two parts, mix variance and yield variance. Please understand, this is also known as sub usage variance and this is also known as composition variance. कभी अगर नहीं बोला है तो this is also known as composition variance. Okay, now labor में also there are parts. Let's have a look. There is a cost variance के there are three parts this time. Why three parts? एक तो price का rate it will become, then इधर क्या हो जाएगा बोलो? Idle time, hello, and then here it will be which variance? Efficiency variance. And efficiency variance will again have how many parts? Two. Either it can be mix variance or it can be consa variance, yield variance. Again, yield variance is also known as sub efficiency variance. Okay, now this is also known as gang composition variance. Clear है यहाँ पे? अच्छा sir, now my question is, we have to calculate all variances every time? No. First of all, you have to check the requirements of the question. If they are asking something only calculate this variance, so you have to calculate only these variants. But if question says calculate all relevant variances, then all possible variances will be calculated. All possible बोले तो now understand this. If mix is possible when you have how many like raw materials का types? Two, or we can say that is more than one type of raw material and labor. If that is the case, then only your mix and yield will be possible. Hello, because if there are two things, then only you can mix them karke, in what ratio and all karke. Okay, so there is a mix variance and there is a yield variance for that matter. नाम याद रहेंगे मटेरियल के अंदर. बोलो चलो मटेरियल के अंदर क्या क्या था अगर बोला जाए तो कॉस्ट, प्राइस, यूसेज में मिक्स एंड yield. चलो लेबर में if I talk about cost variance, then three parts: rate, idle time, efficiency के two parts, mix and yield. याद रहेगा. Done. So now here mix and yield will come only when there are two or more than one raw material. I can say two or more, or you can say more than one. Okay, now sir, can you just give me the formulas and all? Yes. तो चलो formulas में देखो क्या होता है. I'm not giving in writing, but just listen to this. If it is a cost variance दोनों में, तो it is cost minus cost. चलो, that is standard cost minus actual cost. If it is either a price variance or if it is either a rate variance. Let me just do price variance first. So when I say price variance बोले तो standard rate minus actual rate into which quantity? Actual quantity. ऐसा रिवर्स आ जाने का एक स्टेप पीछे. याद रहेगा ये चीज. If I ask you the formula anytime, you will be able to tell me. Yes sir. Now usage variance defined. अच्छा, अगर समझो मैं लेबर रेट की बात करता है तो लेबर रेट वेरिएंस हाउ विल यू कैलकुलेट? सर एट दिस रेट, दैट इज स्टैंडर्ड रेट माइनस एक्चुअल रेट इनटू एक्चुअल आवर्स करके. एट दिस रेट यू शुड हैव पेड करके. क्लियर विद दिस थॉट प्रोसेस? नाउ देयर इज वन मोर वेरिएंस व्हिच इज देयर, यूसेज वेरिएंस. I will communicate with production manager. These many units you should have used. How many units you have actually used? That is quantity का difference. Usage बोले तो, right? And you will never multiply with the standard actual price, because as a manager I don't have any control. So you go and you always take which price? Standard price. Or one step back, that is standard quantity minus actual quantity into which rate? Standard rate, standard price, sorry, standard quantity minus actual quantity. This is standard and this is actual. So this is standard and this is actual. So you will remember this. This is standard quantity and this is actual quantity, and minus what? Standard price. Remember रहेगा ना? याद रहेगा. Okay sir. So this is what we have done with this over here. Now few things to note. Let us understand first of all mix and yield. Then I will come to idle time and all. पहले mix and yield. Mix and yield बोले तो ऐसा होता है. Just understand with the example. There is A and there is a B. On very first day it was said this should be 60, this should be 40. Machine में 100 should be go 90 you will get as an output because normal loss. Now actually में machine में कितना गया है? 1000. And the ratio is like this 700 and 300. This is actual वाला. ये actual वाला है आपका quantity price cost. Okay. Now what will I say? I have given clear instruction on very first day that sir this 1000 should be in what ratio? On very first day it was said that should be in 60-40 का ratio. So we gonna divide this in the 60-40 का ratio. तो A and B कितना होना चाहिए था? 600 and 400. इसको बोलते हैं standard mix, या तो institute says this as a RSQ, revised standard quantity. It says as revised standard quantity करके. Clear है? Now formulas if I just talk about, so as of now we have discussed this formula, standard cost minus actual cost. We have discussed price का formula also, which is standard price minus actual price into बोलो actual quantity. Then we have discussed usage का formula also, standard quantity minus actual quantity into बराबर. Now इसके कितने parts है? दो. It has one is mix variance, one is yield variance. Logic was explained. Actually logic is like this. This 1000 should be in this ratio, 600 and 400, and it is actually in this ratio. So mix you have changed. So what is the effect? And because you are communicating with which manager? You are communicating with your production manager. Which price we will take? Mix scale, standard price. But let's not complicate the things. If you want to buy hard the thing from examination point of view, what will be your formula? As I said, this formula में ये पहले में ये आपका what do you write generally? SQ minus SQ minus AQ into SP, and here also SQ minus AQ into SP. But if it is a mix वाला part, तो इसको कट कर देने का, क्या लिख देने का? RSQ. तो formula will be RSQ minus AQ into SP. So as and when they ask you calculate till usage variance, then just copy the entire formula for mix except for first column, and there copy what your RSQ. Logic is this, वो 1000 का 600 and 400 ratio होना चाहिए था, and the mix has changed. It is 700 and 300 actually. And into standard price, because we are dealing with production manager, he does not have control over actual price. याद आता है सब थोड़ा थोड़ा? We did it in the first session, I agree, but still थोड़ा थोड़ा याद आता है? Yes, because we will face some challenge with reference to revision of those chapters which are done in the first session. Okay, because we work on FIFO method, but still. अच्छा यहाँ पे चलो किसी को याद आता है इसमें से क्या कट करके रिप्लेस करो? एक यूनिट. What should I replace? अरे the job is done. Like we can see that entire formula you will copy like this, except you will AQ को replace with RSQ, and you are done with your material variances. Done है? Now let's go with which part? Labor variances. Sir, what about labor variances? Now understand there is a twist for that matter. अच्छा, labor का आपका cost का formula तो will remain same. Sir, what is the cost का formula? Standard cost minus actual cost. लेकिन इसके तीन पार्ट है. One is rate. Rate में भी standard rate minus actual rate into पीछे एक स्टेप आते हो तो which hours actual, right? That is this. देखो इसको actual hours को एक में नाम दे सकता है. This actual hours should be which hours? Actual hours paid. Paid बोले तो देखो ये वाले hours paid ये होते हैं. लेकिन sometimes there will be something known as idle hours. Idle hours बोले तो you will have to make one working note like this कि hours paid minus idle hours. So you will get what? Hours worked. Do you remember this? It is like my worker has worked for 10 hours. Let me take an example. 10 hours. Let us say here it is 10. So I paid him for 10 hours because he did not work. He was in the factory for 10 hours. So I have to pay him for 10 hours. But sir, there was some problem at my end. Electricity was not there or the machinery was not working. So 4 hours wasted while waiting for that to get repair. या तो electricity के लिए. So he actually worked for how many hours? 6. So 4 hours wasted. Again, that is a loss for the company. Hello. So 4 hours wasted. So now when I say this, अच्छा, when you judge the efficiency of the worker, which hours you should take? Paid वाला और worked वाला? इतना याद है आप लोगों को? Because he will say, sir, you should not judge my performance. It is like, see, I told my worker कि 1 unit should be produced in how many hours? 1 hour, let us say. And my worker has produced 8 units. 1 unit should be produced in 1 hour and my worker has produced kitna units? 8. Now you won't say this, Arey Baba, you were there in the factory for 10 hours and you produced only 8. Very bad. You should produce 10. Arey, but he will say, sir, light was not there for 4 hours. I worked on this machinery only for 6 hours and 6 hours I give you this output of 8. Hello. So you have to compare. When you judge my efficiency, now you should not take 10 hours. Hello. You have to take 6 hours. So this job of 8 units should have taken how many hours below? 8. So I will say like this. My job should have taken 8 hours. That job I did it in how many hours? 6. So I did it faster, right? Into which rate? Your standard rate. The formula will be यहाँ पे efficiency variance का standard hours minus actual hours worked. You will make the mistake. Please, you have to take this वाला. या आप ऊपर से गलती से ये मत ले लीजिएगा. Don't take this. Don't take standard hours minus ये वाला hours. Hello. You should take actual hours worked वाला. Clear है क्या? या थोड़ा डाउट है? याद आया ऐसा? Yes. And then into your standard rate करके. If you want me to repeat something, I will. अच्छा, बीच में कौन सा variance रहेगा आपका? Idle hours. That is what? Idle hours into standard rate. Hello. And it is always what? Adverse. अच्छा, I forgot to mention that. If the variance is answer is in positive, I generally say favorable. If answer is in negative, I generally say adverse, right? But idle hours के लिए that rule will not be applicable. Idle hours are always bad for the company. So your formula should be idle hours into standard rate. So I will do something because I see that many students are not paying attention. Once the revision is done, I will have a Q&A as to what I have taught करके. Okay, and you should be able to answer. So now your concentration level will increase accordingly, right? So okay, now so once I am done with the revision, I will ask you 2-3 minutes के लिए question answers. Okay, चलो बोलो price variance का formula बोलो, mix variance का formula बोलो, तो you have to tell me. Clear है? So now your attention level will increase accordingly. So now, अच्छा, idle hours का formula क्या बनता है? तो idle hours into which rate? Standard rate. And efficiency ratio का standard hours minus actual hours, but कौन सा वाला? Worked वाला. Then into standard rate. Hello. Now, अभी है ना आपको efficiency के दो पार्ट you have to do. कौन सा? Mix and yield variance. You have to do 2 parts, but be careful, sir. About what, sir? You should be careful. Sir, you should be careful about this. That see, you made a format. See, you made a format like this. Standard, comparable standard, actual, then type, then H, then HRC, then इस H को नीचे लेके गया, H minus idle hours, तो hours worked मिला. This was hours paid. समझ में आता है? Now when you calculate RSQ या तो RSH इसका निकालने का, these hours you have actually worked for, you work for this many hours, this hours should be in what ratio, किस ratio में you should have worked first day का. हेलो कि वर्कर A is there, B is there, पहले ही बोला था if he works for 6 hours, ये 4 तो 10 hours में होना चाहिए. तो if you worked for 1000 hours तो it should be in 600 and 400 का ratio. Maybe you change the ratio. This is known as what? RSH. RSH बोले तो revised standard hours. अच्छा, और ये किसका निकालने का हमेशा? आर वर्कड का, आवर्स पेड का नहीं. हेलो, दे हैव वर्क फॉर हाउ मेनी आवर्स वो देखेंगे, एंड जो वर्क हुआ वो किस रेशियो में होना चाहिए था. इट शुड बी इन व्हाट रेशियो. क्लियर है ना? अच्छा, तो फॉर्मूला विल बी व्हाट बोलो तो फॉर्मूला विल बी एसएच माइनस एक्चुअल आवर्स वर्क इनटू स्टैंडर्ड रेट. बट इसमें से क्या कट हो जाएगा? पहला वाला आरएसएच माइनस एक्चुअल आवर्स वर्क इनटू स्टैंडर्ड रेट, एंड हियर इट विल बी स्टैंडर्ड आवर्स माइनस क्या हो जाएगा फिर? RSH इनटू स्टैंडर्ड रेट. आपका ये में से सेकंड वाला पार्ट कट हो जाएगा और उसकी जगह पे RSH विल फिट इन. एंड RSH इज नथिंग बट जो भी आवर्स वर्कड है टोटल वाला, उसको स्टैंडर्ड रेशियो में यू हैव टू डिवाइड. सो वी आर डन विद टू वेरिएंसेस. अच्छा, नाउ वन मोर थिंग. समटाइम्स क्वेश्चन विल गिव यू लाइक दिस, दैट वी वर्क 40 hours a week and we have 10 workers. Hello, so you will have to make format like this: skilled, semi skilled, unskilled, ऐसा एक एक लाइन छोड़ देने का. Then you will say there are 40 hours one worker works for. So I will see skilled का कितना वर्कर है? 5. So 40 hours one worker will work. So there are skilled का 5 workers, so into 5 हो जाएगा. So it means जो भी hours देंगे उसको multiply by क्या करने का? Number of workers. Then you will get total. So how do you get hours? Total hours. That is hours per worker into number of workers. You will get total hours. याद आता है? अच्छा, there is one more question where output will not be given. Output will not be given मतलब some sentence will be written like this: company has produced. ऐसा रहेगा, देखो standard. You have studied from me, so you gonna remember this. There will be like on very first day you made a plan that you gonna work for 2000 hours. Then company has actually worked for 2000 hours, but it will be written by working for 2000 hours, company has produced 1800 hours. Hello, company has produced how many hours? 1800. So what will I write? 1800 hours over here. अरे वो एक logically समझाया था कि if one unit should take 1 hour, so in 8 hours how many units should be produced? 8. But we have produced only 6 units, so I can just say that 6 units I have produced. So by working for 8 hours I give output of 6 hours. Output can be expressed in hours. समझ में आता है? मैंने 6 घंटा 8 घंटा काम करके I should give 8 questions का आउटपुट 1:1 का रेशियो के हिसाब से. 1 hour में 1 question, तो 8 hour में 8 question, but I solved only 6. So by working for 8 hours I give 6 units का output. बोले तो 6 hours का output. So sometimes your output will be given in the hours. So you will just write down you work for 2000 hours, but you give output of कितना? Does that mean 200 idle hours? No, worker is working slowly. It is not idle hours. Hello, the job he has worked for 8 hours. खाली नहीं बैठा है, but slow काम किया है. Output is lower. There are no idle hours. Idle hours are there. Question will specify. अच्छा, then you will say this. तो इस 1800 के लिए what time you should have taken? अच्छा, if output is not given, तो what will you assume on first day? अगर worker is working for 2000 hours, so you are expecting output of how many hours? 2000. Then you will, तो 1800 के लिए कितना टाइम लगना चाहिए था? Cross multiply. याद आता है इतना? That's it. That was the all variations which we have covered with reference to labor वाला part. Now there is one more thing, that is what your variable. I hope सब समझ रहा है. ऐसा कुछ बाउंस मतलब कहीं पे भी ऐसा लगता है तो प्लीज रेज अ हैंड और यू कैन आस्क अ क्वेश्चन, और इफ यू वांट वी कैन थोड़ा सा लिटिल बिट आराम आराम से भी जा सकते हैं, बट आई होप यू आर गेटिंग. थोड़ा समझ रहा है? पक्का? डन. ओके, सो नाउ लेट्स गो विद व्हिच ओवरहेड? वेरिएबल. अच्छा, हाउ मेनी वेरिएंसेस वर देयर इन मटेरियल? 5. लेबर में कितने थे? 6. वाई एक्स्ट्रा? अच्छा, वर्कर खाली बैठा है तो will it consume material? नहीं ना, light has gone, तो worker is not working. That's why idle time variance is not there in material वाला part. Extra variance is there only in labor. If labor is sitting idle, we have to pay labor को. But sir, material थोड़ी use हो रहा है. It will be used only when he is working. Okay, so that's why that one difference. Now variable में how many variances are there? 3. Variable overhead में 3 variances are there. Again table कैसा बनेगा? I generally recommend like this: standard, comparable, standard, actual, and make the entire table HRC, because sometimes they will not give you the rate. थोड़ा complicated हो जाता है. If you can manage with that, that is okay. They will not give you this rate, so you have to calculate ये cost फिर divide करके ये rate आएगा. That is cost divided by hours करके you will get this rate. क्लियर है इतना? अच्छा सुनाओ, अच्छा व्हाट आर वेरिएंसेस यू विल कैलकुलेट, पहले नाम बता दीजिएगा। तो पहला वेरिएंस कौन सा है? कॉस्ट, एंड इट हैज हाउ मेनी पार्ट्स? टू। वन इज एक्सपेंडिचर वेरिएंस, हेलो, एंड वन इज कौन सा वेरिएंस? एफिशिएंसी वेरिएंस। अच्छा डू यू रिमेंबर दिस? अच्छा जस्ट इन केस अगर कभी आइडल आवर्स दिया होगा तो पावर कंजम्पशन, वेरिएबल ओवरहेड इज इक्वल टू पावर कंजम्पशन। If worker was there in the factory for 10 hours, so I paid him for 10 hours. Out of 4, that 4 hours was idle hours. He worked only for 6 hours. मुझे बताओ power consumption will be there for how many hours? 6 hours, right? So यहाँ पे जो भी hours आएगा ना actual में, it is always which hours? Hours work. As such, no question is there at interlevel as idle hours दिया था. But if it is given, तो you understand what you will do? Paid minus लिख के फिर यहाँ पे net hours ही लिखोगे, you will write. So then there will be which variance? Efficiency variance, right? Let us take the formula. Can I say standard cost minus actual cost? And expenditure is like standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. And then here standard hours minus actual hours into standard rate, like this. Rate का difference one step back वैसा. अच्छा please, sometimes the fraction is there हाँ ये actual rate में, तो I recommend taking the entire thing. Entire thing बोले तो cost divided by hours करके entire thing you should take on the calculator. तो what will happen? It will give you exact answer. Otherwise तो rounding off में थोड़ा problem होएगा. So clear है? अच्छा after doing this, तो after doing this yeah, इसमें कोई parts वगैरह नहीं है. Whether skilled is working, whether unskilled is working, power तो उतना ही consume होएगा. तो इसमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता skilled unskilled. Power will be consumed for all at the same rate. Skilled worker तो समझता ही है. That's it. So that was all about this. Now we are going for the dangerous part, which is which part? Fixed overhead variance. Achha, what you need to remember in this case? First of all, particulars, budget, then actual. यहाँ पे क्या सेम होना चाहिए? प्रीवियस वाले क्वेश्चन में क्या सेम होना चाहिए था? What should be same? You know, when you make the diagram, your output, actual output. For the actual output, what I should have incurred, I say like this, and what I have actually incurred, I compare like this. For your actual output, what you should have incurred is compared with what you have actually incurred, right? Because variable cost is dependent upon what? Output. But fixed cost is dependent upon what? Period, duration. So if this data, both should be for 1 month or 1 year, whatever it is. कि 1 year में what should have happened for fixed cost and what has happened in that 1 year or in 1 month. That's why you never make that revised standard. Hello, actual output के लिए वो comparable नहीं बना. तो ठीक है, the format will be like this: budget, actual, and there will be what? Particulars. ठीक है? Then what will you write over here? Budgeted, overheads. Then what will you write over here is units, and then days. OUDH, overheads, units, days. Then hours paid minus idle hours. Then hours worked. Then again you will copy units. Hello. Right? Let me just keep some data so that you can give the answer to me. And let me just if at all, if I have just taken the solution over here. No, I haven't. So I have to create one. So let's just create some random values and see this. Let us say this is 1 lakh and this is 20,000, and yeah, you incurred 1,50,000, and let us say you produced 22,000 units, and 1 unit का absorption rate बोलो जल्दी. So sir, on very first day you thought that you're gonna incur 1 lakh rupees and 20,000 units you are going to produce. So कितना rupees? 5 rupees per hour you are going to recover from the customer. Every unit produced and sold will give you 5 rupees. Once you sell 20,000, it will give you कितना रुपया? 1 lakh. 20,000 into 5 करके. अच्छा sir, let us go to the first variance, which is cost variance. So every unit sold will give you कितना rupees? 5 rupees. And how many units you have actually sold? 20,000, na 22,000, na. So what is the amount that you have recovered? 1 lakh 10. This is recovered. Hello, by selling the units. What you have paid is 1 lakh 50. Hello. So can I say 40,000 variance adverse or favorable? Adverse, because you spent more. You recovered 1 lakh 10,000, but you spent 1 lakh 50,000. याद आता है? अच्छा sir. This will have how many parts? 2. This estimation must have gone wrong because of 2 reasons. Either because there is change in overheads, that can be one of the reason, or there is change in units. याद आता है ऐसा? If this is change in overhead, so which variance it is known as? Expenditure variance, or it is also known as which variance? Budget. Or this is also known as वॉल्यूम, यूनिट्स को हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, वॉल्यूम। अच्छा, एक्सपेंडिचर वेरिएंस इज वेरी इजी, बोलो कितना, 50,000 एडवर्स, you thought that you're gonna incur 1 lakh rupees but you have actually incurred कितना, 1,50,000, बोले तो 50,000 एक्स्ट्रा, तो 1 lakh minus 1,50,000, 50,000 is going to be what, adverse। यहां से आपको प्लस माइनस का साइन प्रेस करने का, यू हैव टू चेंज द साइन। नाउ अंडरस्टैंड हाउ, पहले लॉजिकली, सर 20,000 यूनिट्स यू शुड हैव सोल्ड, यू सोल्ड कितना, 22, एडवर्स और फेवरेबल पहले बोल दो, you sold more units ना, that is good for the company, so 20,000 you should have sold, you sold 22,000, 2,000 extra, every unit sold has fetched you कितना, 5 rupees, तो कितना, 10,000 favorable, that is 20,000 minus 22,000 into 5 करके। अच्छा, just check whether it tallies क्या, yeah, expenditure I spent more 50,000 extra but I have recovered 10,000 extra by selling more units। और कैलसी पे व्हाट यू कैन डू, 20,000 माइनस 22,000 इंटू 5 एंड देन प्लस माइनस का साइन से साइन चेंज कर देने का, तो इजी रहेगा आपका, फिर वो फेवरेबल दिखेगा। हेलो, क्लियर है? अच्छा सर, व्हाट एवर वॉल्यूम यू वांटेड टू अचीव, इट हैज एक्चुअली 4 पार्ट्स, यू शुड रिमेंबर द नेम। पहले कॉस्ट वेरिएंस, एक्सपेंडिचर वेरिएंस, वॉल्यूम वेरिएंस। व्हाट एवर वॉल्यूम यू हैव टू अचीव, हाउ यू मेक अ प्लान, फर्स्ट यू से इतना दिन अपन काम करेगा, बोले तो कैलेंडर, एंड इन एवरी डे आई विल स्टडी फॉर हाउ मेनी आवर्स, दैट इज व्हाट। Then when actual happens, so there will be some idle hours because of electricity is gone, and whatever work we have done after subtracting idle hours, how effectively it is done, that is efficiency. So calendar, capacity, idle time and efficiency. Let me give you some data and let's get to this. Let us say I was planning to work for how many days, sir? Let us say, sir, I was planning to work for 20 days. And let us say that I have worked for 25 days. Okay, so let us say I was planning to work for 20 days, or let us say I have worked for how many days, 23 days. So first of all, 1 day का absorption rate, I was planning to spend 1 lakh rupees, that is what I want to recover, and 1 lakh I want to recover in how many days, 20, so 1 lakh upon 20, 5,000। पहला वाला था 1 lakh upon 20,000 and it is 1 lakh upon 20, so 5,000। It means, can I say every day worked by you is going to give you 5,000 ka overheads ka recovery, right? So now you worked for how many hours, if you see this over here? Acha, you worked extra or not, 3 days। Acha, don't say sir 3 days ka paisa worker ko dena padega, are you will get more revenue actually, otherwise close the factory, no worker ka payment, when you pay worker 10 rupees you are getting more from that। So how many days you extra work, 3, so kitna extra recovery you must have done, 15,000। There's gonna be 20 days you should have open your factory, you did it for 23 days into 5,000, प्लस माइनस का साइन चेंज कर देने का, 20 minus 23 into 5,000 साइन चेंज, प्लस का माइनस, माइनस का प्लस, तो 15,000 व्हाट, फेवरेबल। लॉजिकली you work for more days, that is beneficial to the company, that is why we are here on Sunday also, many of the times it is beneficial to the school, we can say, or the classes। the reason is उतना रेंट का उतना पोर्शन आगे सब, मतलब सब कुछ सेविंग हो जाता, अदरवाइज रेंट तो वैसे भी जाएगा इफ इट इज क्लोज्ड ऑन संडे। तुमको कुछ समझा नहीं, चलो ठीक है, 15,000 favorable। okay, now we will go for what, capacity, it means we have to come on Sunday, that is done। now after that capacity बोले तो if it is 8:30 to 5:30 we will extend and we will increase our capacity, that is 8 to 6। समझ में आता है, every day first days have increased, then what has increased is capacity। let us see that, so you are very efficient, you know, and all करके देखो। लेट अस से 20 डेज में कितना काम होना चाहिए था, 200 पर डे 10 आवर्स, पर डे 10 आवर्स, तो 20 डेज में 200 आवर्स का काम यू शुड हैव डन। तो बट सर यू डिड ओनली 220। अच्छा, नाउ यू मे फील एज इफ इट इज इंक्रीज इन कैपेसिटी, बट आंसर इज नो। अरे बाबा, यू केम टू द कोचिंग सेंटर फॉर हाउ मेनी डेज, और यू ओपनड योर फैक्ट्री फॉर 23 डेज। so 23 डेज में एज पर योर कैपेसिटी व्हाट इज द आवर्स you worker, my worker should have worked for, chalo, in the factory every day he works for 10, so I can say, so 20 days mein he works for 200 hours, so if he came to the factory for 23 days he should have worked for 230 hours and he has actually worked for, so adverse variance, why, below capacity। hello, and what is your recovery rate, तो per hour का, hello बोले तो 1 lakh upon 200 बोले तो कितना, 500, याद आता है ना ये, तो 500 बोले तो into 500, that is gonna be 230 minus 220 into 500, प्लस माइनस का साइन चेंज, 5,000 adverse, right? अच्छा, whatever idle time you have thought of, it was already subtracted while getting this 200. That is normal idle time. But अचानक से लाइट वेट चला गया, let us 5 hours were wasted. So you worked only for 215. Plan was there. You will work for 200, but you worked only for कितना 215. How many hours are wasted? Hello, 5 hours are wasted. अच्छा, every hour you would have recovered कितना रुपए? 500. 5 hours are wasted. तो idle hours 5 hours are wasted into idle per hour 500 कितना? Can I say it is always adverse? Hello, always. थोड़ा थोड़ा याद आता है आपको? Yes sir. Then now let's go for efficiency. If I go for efficiency, what will happen? Sir, let us copy units first from the second row. 20,000, 22,000 and 1 unit is equal to कितना? 5. So what I say, if in 200 hours, how many units worker can produce? 20,000. बोले तो 2 0 एक्स्ट्रा लगा देते हैं. या तो 200 hours में he can produce 20,000 units. Hello, so 215 hours में he can produce how many units? 21,500 ना. अगर 200 घंटे में 20,000 बन सकता है, it can be produced. तो 215 hours में कितना produce? Units can be produced, right? But he has produced कितना? Is he efficient? Favorable, because he produced more than what I was expecting. कि 200 घंटे में you can produce 20,000, तो 2 you worked for this many hours. 215 you should have produced 21,500. You give 22 extra और एक यूनिट का कितना रुपए है? 5. तो उसने 500 यूनिट्स आई थिंक ज्यादा दिया into 5 कितना? अच्छा, just cross check this. फेवरेबल आपको ऐड कर दो पहले तो 15,000 plus 2,500. Now minus adverse वाला 5,000 and minus 2,500. You will get 10,000. So you're gonna add this. You're gonna add this and you're gonna subtract these two adverse. कितना आएगा? 10. Now is it entire thing is like by hearted एकदम अच्छे से वापस recap. पहला वेरिएंस के लिए कैसे जाने का देखो. पहले वेरिएंस के लिए ऐसे. सेकेंड वेरिएंस इज लाइक दिस. एक्सपेंडिचर सेकेंड. देन ये आगे भी जाने का इंटू 5 करके. हेलो, कि डेज वेरिएंस 20 minus 23 इंटू 5,000. कैपेसिटी वेरिएंस दो जगह पे मल्टीप्लीकेशन होगा. कहां पे? कैपेसिटी एंड एफिशिएंसी. यू नीड टू डू क्रॉस मल्टीप्लीकेशन. आइडल आवर्स तो इजी है. थोड़ा भी याद आता है कि नहीं? So that was all about your standard costing that we have revised. Okay, so that's it for standard costing. और just last names फटाफट से एकदम फास्ट रैपिड रिकैप में. मटेरियल, लेबर, वेरिएबल एंड फिक्स. 5 वेरिएंस, 6 वेरिएंस, 3 वेरिएंस, 7 वेरिएंस. बोलो. कॉस्ट वेरिएंस के 2 पार्ट, प्राइस एंड यूसेज. यूसेज के 2 पार्ट, मिक्स एंड यील्ड. कॉस्ट के 3 पार्ट्स, रेट वेरिएंस, आइडल टाइम, एफिशिएंसी. देन देयर इज मिक्स एंड यील्ड. देन कॉस्ट वेरिएंस के 2 पार्ट्स, एक्सपेंडिचर एंड एफिशिएंसी. इन तीनों का टेबल सेम होता है. इट इज अ वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. स्टैंडर्ड, कंपेरेबल, स्टैंडर्ड, एक्चुअल वगैरह के. नाउ यहाँ पे कॉस्ट वेरिएंस के 2 पार्ट्स, एक्सपेंडिचर एंड वॉल्यूम ना. वॉल्यूम के अंदर कैलेंडर, कैपेसिटी, idle time, efficiency. So that's it. So that is a wholesome revision of your which chapter? Standard costing. Okay, just this and